Welcome to Crownwood Primary School and our virtual presentation to those parents who are looking for a school place for September 2021. My name is Grant Strudley and I am the head teacher. And on this presentation you will hear from Caroline Winchcombe, who is one of the deputy head teachers and the Senko, and also from Laurie Tanner, who is one of our reception class teachers. Before you hear from us, here is a short video.
Welcome to Crownwood Primary School. Our vision is to be the school of choice at the heart of our community, where children develop as confident, caring citizens, able to discover their potential and embrace the opportunities life brings. Our school values are achievement, aspiration, collaboration, perseverance, respect and responsibility. At Crownwood, we dare to dream. The IPC is a thematic, creative curriculum which has clear processes of learning. The children learn and develop knowledge, skills and understanding through engaging and purposeful activities in science, computing, technology, history, geography, languages, music, art and society. There are also plenty of opportunities for children to apply their English and maths skills in each of the units. We have a large, inviting school hall suitable for assemblies, school plays and polling day for our school council. At Crownwood, the children and staff are divided into 4 houses: oak, ash, elm and beech. House matches are used to promote friendly competition during the year, and the children also receive house points for demonstrating the school values in lessons and their home learning. Let's take a look around the school. Children will have regular opportunities to achieve and develop confidence and self-esteem through hands-on learning in our woodland environment. We're fortunate to have such a beautiful environment within our school grounds. We employ a specialist forest school leader to run various activities and programmes for the children throughout the year. Every child at Crownwood gets several opportunities to benefit from this forest school learning experience and typically spend a morning or afternoon in the forest. We also use this provision for some of our children who struggle with their social, mental or emotional health. We have extensive school grounds. The children have the opportunity to play on 2 hard playgrounds and a large field. We have basketball nets on both playgrounds and football goals ready for the children to play together at lunch and break time. Children also like to spend time on the pirate ship, Trimtail, and pick up sticks. Mr. Tillman is our full-time PE coach and he teaches PE to the children in nursery all the way through to Year 6. We have a nurture group provision which offers short-term focused intervention for children who are particularly needing support with social, emotional and behavioural difficulties. This helps them to overcome barriers to enable them to make progress in their learning in the mainstream classroom. In Year 6, children have the opportunity to head to Wales, to Rossegwalia. This trip helps children to build self-esteem and confidence, improve their communication skills, develop thinking skills, and develop a responsibility for the environment and for their own health and safety, as well as being great fun.
Crownwood is proud to be an academy within the Greenshaw Learning Trust. The Trust has schools in 3 hubs around the country, in Sutton, in the southwest around Gloucester and within Bracknell. One of our other schools in this area is Brackenhale. The Trust is a family of like-minded schools that collaborate to provide mutual support, share good practice and learn from each other while retaining and developing our own distinctive character. Each school is managed locally by a head teacher and we have our own governing bodies. As well as providing central services such as finance, human resources, estate management, the Trust also provides school improvement support. Crownwood's ethos is based around our values. Our values are determination, responsibility, everyone together, the phrase we use to mean inclusion and collaboration, aspiration and achievement, mutual respect. The first letters of each of those values spell dream, so at Crownwood we dare to dream. We want the children to develop the attitude they need for later in life, things like resilience, resourcefulness, risk-taking, collaboration and so forth. We think that they need to start developing those attitudes and values from the moment they walk through the door, whether it be nursery or reception. And so our curriculum and the way we teach are designed to develop those values, and we talk about them in assembly. They also underpin things like our behaviour policy. We are also involved in a project called A Mind to be Kind, which is all about teaching the children about kindness, respect and living without harm. We're also a rights respecting school, so we follow the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, and we have received rights committed status from UNICEF. So we talk to the children about the rights they enjoy, for example, being able to live without harm, either verbally or physically, but also what they have to do to ensure that they protect the rights of others. So these three areas are really important to our ethos and the way that children treat each other, the way that staff treat the children, and the way that the leadership and governors act. So we model our values by being determined, taking responsibility and so forth. Parents ask us about our behaviour policy. Our behaviour policy is based upon our school values, in particular responsibility and mutual respect, in addition to kindness. Our values represent our school rules and are our minimum expectation, and as such we don't give rewards such as stickers or presents or prizes for behaving as we expect. We think that the children should learn to behave well because it's the right thing to do. It's intrinsic, not because they get something out of it. We do praise good behaviour and it is recognised, however. We also know that children are still learning and that sometimes we need to teach them how to behave properly in particular circumstances. So we always give them replacement behaviours, talk through what they can do next time and give them a chance to improve. If the poor behaviour continues, however, or it's serious incident, for example, hurting another child, an immediate consequence is given, although we still do talk through what they can do next time. Consequences are logged on our behaviour log, and this allows us to be proactive in dealing with behaviour issues before they become serious or ongoing. For example, children might get support from our nurture team. We have an anti-bullying charter that is reviewed every 2 years by the school council. It is signed by representatives of the school council, me as head teacher and the chair of governors, and we then ask every member of our school community, whether they be a governor, a staff member or a pupil, to sign it to say that bullying is not acceptable at Crown Wood. We have nearly 600 children in school, and I'd love to tell you that there was never any poor behaviour and that bullying never happened, but we all know that children can be horrible to each other. What you can be assured about is that poor behaviour and any bullying incidents are well managed, are taken seriously, and there is a robust response, and you can be assured that your children will be safe at Crown Wood. If you're able to visit with the children in school, you'd see calm, orderly classrooms and corridors. Crown Wood has come a long way in the last 2 or so years. Supported by our colleagues in the Trust, we've seen an improvement in the quality of teaching and in standards, particularly at the end of reception Year 2 and Year 6. In 2019, results at the end of reception in Year 2 were in line with the national average, and we saw significant improvement in Year 6. There were no SATs in 2020, but our internal data showed that we would have continued to make improvements, particularly in Year 6, and we would have likely ended up with national standard for reading, writing and maths combined. We know, however, there's still plenty of work to do and we still need to make improvement, and we drive this through our school development plan, the summary of which you can see on the screen. A copy is also on our school website. We were last inspected in 2015. We're working very hard to ensure that when the next inspection comes, we are judged good. We want the children to leave Crown Wood with the English and math skills they need to be successful at secondary school and beyond. But in addition to that, they need a broad and balanced curriculum where they have a chance to develop skills, knowledge and understanding in PE, computing, history, geography, art, technology, science and so forth. So our curriculum is based upon the International Primary Curriculum and the International Early Years Curriculum. It covers all of these subjects giving them the knowledge, skills and understanding they require from the national curriculum, but actually it goes wider and deeper than that. The curriculum also allows the children to develop learning skills, what we would call metacognition, and to develop international mindedness. That is a real understanding of the wider world around them. Our curriculum is purposeful, it's topic based and it's hands on, and we know from Pupil Voice how much the children enjoy and value it.
We use the International Early Years Curriculum, also known as the IEYC, to deliver our early years curriculum. The IEYC uses international best practices, holistic inquiry and play-based approaches which cover all curriculum areas including personal, social and emotional development. On this slide, you can see the IEYC topics reception are following through this academic year. I thought I would just give you a brief overview of a couple of our topics so you can see how engaging they are for the children. Dinosaur Detectives gets the children to travel back in time to the land of dinosaurs to find out about different species, how they live, and how we are still finding out information about them. For the Brilliant Bug Ball, we explore mini beasts in our local area and find out more about what they look like, how they live, and how they move about. This is when we usually have our Ugly Bug Ball, which is a day to be enjoyed by all members of the family. Read, Write, Ink is the phonics scheme used from the last term of nursery to the end of year 2. It teaches the children to read accurately and fluently with good comprehension skills. Every letter has its sound. For example, E makes the E sound and T makes the T sound. Read, Write, Ink will enable children to know the sounds each letter can make, spell correctly, and will enable them to learn how to compose and write their own sentences. Letters in reception are initially only 30 minutes a day and will gradually increase to an hour once the children are able to read words. The children's phonics knowledge is assessed every 6 weeks to check for any gaps and to ensure they are working at an appropriate level. As you can see from the picture on the left, each sound card has a picture that it is made to look like the letter. On the other side of the card, it just has the letter. This is to help give the children a visual prompt in matching the letter to a sound, and it also helps them remember the correct letter formation using the rhyme. For example, the has the rhyme Maisie, mountain, mountain. The children say this rhyme as they write it to help them remember. Every day the children take home the corresponding sound of the day sheet to find words containing the sound and to practice the letter formation at home. As you can see on the screen, this is a timetable for a typical day in reception. Children come into school, will find their name card and practice writing their name. This is followed by the register. Our first activity is 15 minutes of dough disco. This is a fine motor activity which encourages the children to pinch, squeeze and roll dough in different ways to build up the muscles used in their hands and fingers to write. This is followed by phonics for approximately 30 minutes. The children then get to free flow within the learning environment where we have a mixture of self-selection and focused learning activities for the children to explore. Lunch break is an hour and then we spend 30 minutes on our topic-based learning called IEYC. The children are then given 1.5 hours to free flow before tidying up for a story and home time. In reception, each class is split into 2 gathering groups. Each group is assigned a special adult to them whose role is to be their key worker. This helps the children to feel safe and secure within the setting, and these gathering groups are used for group work such as forest schools, cooking and show and tell. During free flow, the children are able to learn and explore their interests through play. Free flow is a vital part of the EYFS curriculum, providing access to all areas of learning. Children are encouraged to self-select activities that will develop the 7 areas of learning, such as language and personal, social and emotional development. Children have access to a variety of learning opportunities through focused areas such as small world, construction, sensory exploration, maths and gross and fine motor activities. Through careful observation of the children's needs and interests, staff provide various enhancements in the learning environment. These include specific resources linked to the sound of the day, such as pirates in the sand and water on the day that they learn the P sound. We also use the daily focus for IEYC to enhance areas. For example, today we were talking about families from the topic This Is Me, so we put baby dolls in the outside area to develop role play and discussion around families.
As soon as we know that your child will be joining the school, we start to plan to make the transition for you and your child as smooth as possible. We ask that you complete a registration form and provide us with information regarding your child as soon as possible, so that we have everything that we need in place for the start of their reception year. Most importantly, if you have any additional needs, including allergies or a medical plan required. Our school catering team do their best to support children with dietary requirements, so the sooner we are aware, the easier it is for them to put a plan in place and a suitable menu to be created. Once we have this information, we will then set you up on our online learning journey system. This is currently called Tapestry. This is a two-way communication tool where we can share pictures, videos and information with you about your children's learning and development. In the early days and over the summer holiday, we will post bedtime stories read by reception staff and activities for the children to do to keep in touch with us. We plan to invite children in for a few visits before they start school in September. The initial visit being a stay and play session where you come with your child and support them in exploring the reception environment and meeting their teachers. The second and third visits are in school without mummies and daddies. In September, we stagger the start by date of birth, taking the youngest children on the first day, followed by the mid-year children, followed by the eldest on the third day. By this time, all children are in. We do not impose this, and we are happy to accommodate all working parents should they need their children in from day one. Having this short staggered start just allows for all children to settle with enough adults to cater for their needs and give them a little more attention when separating from their parents. We don't tend to have lots of tears, but we find that this approach works. Children who have additional needs can, of course, arrange for a more intensive transition plan, and we can integrate more slowly if needed. You as parents know the children best, and we will always be guided by you. Every child is welcomed to our inclusive, nurturing community. We work hard to ensure all pupils have access to resources, intervention and provision to meet their needs. We strive for all pupils to make progress from their individual starting points through our broad, balanced and exciting curriculum. All children have access to quality first teaching as the first response to their needs, access to assessments and trained adults to provide support. This can be individually or in a small targeted group. Teaching assistants are deployed effectively across the school to enhance the learning and ensure maximum impact. If children do require interventions, they are run by experienced teachers or trained support staff, and progress is monitored through an ongoing assessment to ensure progress is being made. At times, it is necessary to refer children to external agencies to get more specialist support and advice. We always seek parental consent, and you are kept up to date with the process. Children's social, emotional and mental health is also monitored in school. Should intervention in class through Mind to be Kind and the other PSHE opportunities not be enough, we can consider additional intervention through our nurture provision called Treetops. This provision is led by Mrs. Kirkwood, who is a mental health first aider, and along with myself, holding the nurture-based qualification. In Treetops, we run a variety of groups focusing on supporting pupils with anger, anxiety, self-esteem and resilience. This provision is also available for shorter-term pieces of work to support children with family breakups, bereavement or loss. Children really enjoy their time in Treetops and tell us that it makes a real difference to their time in school. Having somewhere to go where adults make the time to truly listen to them makes them feel safe and cared for. We also have access to other therapies such as counsellors, pet therapists and art therapists, as well as utilising our own forest school provision. We have a pastoral support advisor called Mrs. Ruck, who works in school 4 days a week. She supports me in my role as Senko and works closely with you as parents to complete referrals. She is also a listening ear and someone who can support with wider family issues, for example, housing. This is what a parent said at the end of their year in nursery last year before their child transitioned into reception this year.
We decided to send our son to Cranwood because from the moment we viewed the school, it was very clear how happy the children are across the whole of the school setting. We loved what was on offer outside of the classroom, the great facilities making playtimes fun and a happy space for them whilst they're not in the classroom. The Forest School is extremely impressive, and we feel it's helped so much to develop his confidence and listening skills and his overall general happiness and well-being whilst he's at school. When our son started nursery, he needed extra support to help him with communication and play, and the change in him from when he started there to now going into reception is so much more than we could ever have imagined and hoped for. The teaching staff have worked with our son, listening to us as parents, and in turn we have listened to them and taken on board their views and opinions and their advice, and it's worked really well. The things we love most about Cranwood is the genuine care for the children, the extra mile that they have gone to get the best out of each and every one of them. There is a strong sense of community within the school, and I feel now more than ever this is key in the school's success and the reason our child is so happy there and now thriving.